Hey everybody, it's Batty Chatty. Sorry for the delay, but it couldn't be helped. Just waiting here for Darren to show up. Oh, there he is. Let's see here. Yep. And there you are.
Here I am.
Hey, what's that?
This is Harold. Harold was a gift from another group. We did a kind of like a mid-year Christmas exchange.
Oh, nice.
And this was my gift.
Very cool. Very cool.
And I asked him to join me on today's feed. I thought he might get a kick out of it.
Very cool. I'm getting a kick out of it. That's cool. I like it.
Oh yeah, this guy's cool as shit. I'm loving having him here. So he's gonna be joining me for today.
Very cool. I like it. I like it. Hey everybody. How's everybody doing?
What's up, all? This is Harold. Harold's my guest today. Actually, Harold is our guest.
Yes.
So he'd wave, but he's made of rubber.
Very, very cool. All right.
Anyway.
Well, it is so hot here. I'm like dying.
Speaking of which, hold on a minute. I'd ask Harold to hold this, but I don't think he can.
Hey everybody.
Much better. I get the air coming at me from the X and Y axis.
Oh, nice. Nice.
All right, Harold. Here we go.
All right. Should we just dive right in?
Let's dive right in.
All right. Well, we have a top 10 plus remakes list for today.
Yes, we do.
And I know a lot of people hate remakes, but there's really some actually really good ones out there. So we thought we'd give a list of
Yeah.
a few. Yeah, I know you're not a fan of them, but I actually like quite a few of them.
Well, I know which one you really like, so we've talked about that one before because I still haven't seen the original.
There's quite a few. All right, so let's dive right in. Number one on the list I have is The Thing.
You know, I think The Thing was supposed to be more of a prequel. Not a great one either.
No,
wait.
I'm
Are you
talking about the 1982 one.
Oh, well, you can see I'm kind of rusty here. So
yeah, no, the newer one is a prequel. Absolutely.
Yeah. No. Yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
Top
it's a
3.
remake.
And it's funny because even though it was a remake, John Carpenter's version was actually a lot closer to the book or the story Who Goes There than the original was with James Arness.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so now I actually want to read Who Goes There.
Yeah, that would be
I really
cool.
want to read that. Yeah, it would be. Hold on a minute. You all right, Harold? Yeah? I just don't want him to be uncomfortable, you know? I mean, this is probably his first venture into live feeds, and I don't want him to be nervous. But he came prepared.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm loving it.
So.
All right. Well,
anyway.
The second movie I have on the list is The Fly.
The Fly?
Yes.
I thought the remake was outstanding.
Absolutely. Right?
I own that one. I loved that one. And, surprise, even saw the sequel.
Really? I'm not
Yeah,
a
but I
big
didn't
fan
like
of the
it as much.
sequel. Yeah, I'm
I
not a
didn't like
huge
it.
fan of that. But
No. No, the original was fantastic. The the Jeff Goldblum
yes.
version was fantastic. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Terry. Hi, Parry.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on, y'all?
All right, let's see here. The next one I have on the list is Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Dawn of the Dead was great. The remake was great. I enjoyed the remake.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
It's never going to be the original. I mean, the original is, but I do like the way that they did the remake. The Fast Zombies, I'm still not a fan of Fast Zombies, but I still enjoyed it. Harold, would you stay in the... I don't think he likes this. All right,
He's
you
a
know
little
what,
camera
guys?
shy.
Wait a second. Harold had his time. I think he wants to be off. Say bye to Harold, everyone.
Bye, Harold.
All right, you got that, Harold? All right. Hold on a second. At least you got on for a little bit. Oh, sorry. Harold is apparently camera shy.
That's all right. It was his first time.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least you got to meet him, so I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
The fidgetiest, most fidgety. Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so then
you missed me, didn't you?
You want to take a couple?
Yes, I'm gonna start with the Evil Dead remake.
I love that one.
I must say that I was really impressed with it. I know it wasn't Bruce Campbell, but I love how they upped the ante on the horror factor for the remake. I mean, you're also talking about two different decades when these films were made, so it's tough to really, I don't want to say compare, but when you have two movies that share the same title and to a point share the same content, you kind of gotta let them each breathe on their own.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do compare. But you're talking about the same story. So as much as I love the original Evil Dead, I really did love the Evil Dead remake. I really did.
Yeah, no, I did too. I absolutely did.
And especially when a movie is directed by a guy named Nimrod, you kind of got to give him a break.
This is true. I don't know that I'd keep that name. I think I'd change it.
Well, let's put it this way. If my parents had given me a name like Nimrod, I probably would have had them committed when I was old enough. Then go and change it. Could you imagine what that would be like in school?
No.
When you're raising your hand, you don't raise your hand because of your name, yet the teacher calls it, "Hey, Nimrod, I haven't heard from you in a while."
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Evil Dead is one of those remakes that's right up there. Another one that I'm going to go out on a limb with is John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13.
Okay.
I don't know if it's more horror than it is action, but I really enjoyed the remake and who is in it. And the only reason I'm even putting that out there is because it's John Carpenter.
Right.
But I loved Ethan Hawke. I loved Lawrence Fishburne. I thought it was a great cast. It was a harsh film, but I loved it. I saw the original. I can't really remember it, but I did love it, and the remake was a lot of fun too. Let me think of another one because I know. Oh, I know the one I had on there was My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, I like that one.
I enjoyed the original. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I enjoyed that movie a hell of a lot. And even though the remake was great, I know there are going to be some women who are swooning out there because Jensen Ackles was in it, which is interesting to see him in a horror film. In fact, I think that's something that I'm going to have to watch that again. I actually have it in 3D, so I'm going to watch it with the glass for effect. Yeah, I want to see somebody try and stab me through the TV, even though I'm not filming. Should be fun to watch. All right. You want to grab another couple?
Yeah. I also have The Crazies on here.
Ooh, good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see the original, strangely, but the remake was. I love Timothy Olyphant.
He's one of my very favorites.
He really is. And that movie was one of those movies that I could just sit and watch it all day.
Yeah,
I really could.
I love that movie.
So did I. Hello, Lorraine.
Let's see here. I also have The Hills Have Eyes.
That's the one I was waiting for. I'm gonna have to sit down and watch that.
You're gonna have to. You really are.
I know where to go to watch it. I just haven't. I'm working on that.
I also have I Spit on Your Grave.
Didn't see that at all.
I love that remake. I'm actually not a fan of the original, but I really like the remake of it.
Okay. Brian said Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Absolutely. I really love that one.
I didn't.
No, I love that one.
The first one, and always the first one for me. That's how it is. It's either the original or bust. Sorry, Brian.
Let's see here. I also had 13 Ghosts.
I have to see it again because from what I remember, and I didn't see the original, I know, I didn't care for the remake.
No.
But I saw it so long. See, that's probably the same thing with like Event Horizon. I saw Event Horizon when it was in the theaters, and I didn't like it, at least from what I remember. But then I just bought it on Blu-ray and sat and watched it and loved it. So it's probably just one of those things I need to watch it again. Because I know a lot of people really enjoyed 13 Ghosts, and I just maybe really don't remember it, you know? Hi, Robert. But I do want to see it again, just so instead of saying I didn't like it, I can maybe say, oh, yeah, actually, I really do. Hi, Roberta.
Let's see here.
And Gigi agrees with me.
Yeah. I also have Last House on the Left on the list.
Okay. Hold on to your seat.
Yeah.
But I did see both of them.
Yeah. What do you think?
I enjoyed the original.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed the original more than the remake. Not that I didn't like the remake. I think, I don't know, I guess it depends on how you look at it because, again, two different time periods. You know, the original was, what, the 70s?
Absolutely.
Late 70s? And the new one was 2000s. It's two very different time periods. And what we've come to put on screen, hey, Kate, what we've come to put on screen, is, you know, it's a little more intense than it was back then. But back then, that's what intense was.
Yeah.
But I would say I loved the original more than I enjoyed the remake. But I did enjoy the remake. That's not to say I didn't. Listen, whenever you remake a Wes Craven, a John Carpenter film, you're stepping into some really big shoes. You better be on your game, you know?
You absolutely are. I agree with that. Which brings us to Halloween. And there's a lot of controversy on that. There's a lot of people that don't like it, but I think it was a good movie. I like the original way more, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's iced
I'm
tea in the
very,
jug.
I'm very,
Hi, Kate.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to say I enjoyed the remake. Probably because, I can hear the boos in my head. I wasn't a huge fan of Halloween.
Right.
But if I were going to pick either one of them, I would pick the John Carpenter version.
Makes sense.
And listen, it's not that I don't enjoy the way Rob Zombie envisioned it. I just don't like the way he envisioned it versus John Carpenter. I've come to really enjoy Rob Zombie's films, except for what is it? Except
Lords of
for
Salem.
yes, Lords of Salem bored the hell out of me. But I loved all his other movies. I loved all of Rob Zombie's other movies. Strangely, you know, and I can't wait for the new one. That's all I can say.
Oh, I'm very excited about the new one.
I think a lot of people are.
And that was the end of my list, actually, for ones that I really like.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a pretty good list.
Yeah.
I know there are remakes, but to be honest with you, I think you got the Friday the 13th remake.
Which was
You
good,
got the Nightmare on Elm.
wasn't
Yeah,
near as good as
yeah.
the original.
The Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which was garbage.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna make the list.
So 31, Terry, I love 31. I own it. I love that movie. But yeah, it's I think we've covered some good ones. It's just it's very difficult to really it's just difficult to step in and say you love a remake versus the original, especially if they change it up and maybe if they just don't feel as authentic as the original. Some people love remakes, some people detest them. I can go either way. It depends on how well they do the film.
Yeah, I try to go in, with an open mind and, realize some things may be different, some things may be the same, and oh, you know what? One I didn't have on here, Maniac. That's a good one.
Haven't seen Maniac.
Maniac is a good one.
I also didn't love the remake of The Fog.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I liked it, but
the original was way better.
Yeah,
way better.
There's a lot of people that hate that version.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't great. It really wasn't great. But I digress.
I've not heard any talk about a remake of Christine.
No, me either. Oh, it's another great remake. How did I forget this? The Blob.
Oh, yes.
I loved the remake. I still haven't seen the original. Shame on me.
You haven't seen the original Blob?
No, I really, really need to. It's not a Steve McQueen thing, although I would love to see Steve McQueen in a horror film. So I do have to watch that. That and there was another one that I had in mind. Oh, I just lost it. Fright Night.
I really liked Fright Night, but it was different enough.
The original.
It was different enough. I think they should have named it something else.
Yeah.
And just made it its own movie, because being a remake made a lot of people hate it. Yeah. When
I didn't love it. I thought in fact I didn't really care for it all that much. I think the thing that did it for me was the Amy vampire.
Yeah.
At the end of the first Fright Night. That scared me senseless.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to see in the new one, and they completely abandoned it. And I was just like, you lost perspective. You lost the idea of what the movie was supposed to be. So it is what it is.
I've not seen that one, Brian.
Which one?
2000 Maniacs remake is 2000.
I thought that was a sequel. Brian, I thought that was a sequel. I thought 2001 Maniacs was a sequel. I love 2000 Maniacs.
I haven't seen it.
I love 2000 Maniacs. 2001 Maniacs was gory, but it was kind of hokey. Robert Englund was in it. You know, that was nice, but still, it was kind of hokey. Alrighty. Well, listen, we could go on with remakes all day, and maybe we'll have to do a part 2 of this. But we must move on, and we have a big name to talk about. Erica?
Yeah. Clive Barker. He has so much on his stuff. I figured we'd do the filmography first.
Sure.
Because he has, I mean, he's got novels, he's got short stories, he's got video games, he's got all these things. So, bye, Gigi. So we're gonna start. First one's 1985 is Underworld, and he's just the writer on that.
Underworld.
See here. Underworld, British horror film written by Clive Barker. Yeah. The cover looks pretty crazy.
I'll have to take a peek at that. I'll have to take a peek at that and see if I can find it.
Then we've got 1986 Rawhide Rex.
Yeah.
And he was the writer on that.
I have a copy of that.
Yeah. I have to watch it again. I haven't seen Rawhide Rex in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it too. A long time. So I'm due for a watch.
Then we've got 1987 Hellraiser, which he was the director and the writer for. And I love that.
That was just,
I love
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I hate to say it, and I don't know who else noticed it, but being that I love film and being that I'm trying to get into the industry, I did find it kind of tacky that when the engineer appeared, that's the scene with the creature in the hall, you could see very clearly the machine that was pushing it. That was tacky. When you're going to make a big budget film, learn how to hide that stuff.
Yeah.
But it did not take away from the film.
Yeah, no.
Did not take away at all.
No, it was not the Vampire Werewolf Underworld. It's from 1985, Brian.
Yeah.
Then we've got 1988 Hellbound, Hellraiser Part 2. He was the producer and the writer on that.
That was good. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was good.
That one's actually my favorite. I really love that one for some reason.
I am a stickler for continuity, if you will.
Yeah.
And the scene at the end when the girl was running towards the towards Leviathan.
Oh, it just takes forever and forever.
Yeah, but the problem was, is if you watch that, do you realize that it was just the same scene duplicated played over and over. It's like, how the hell did this bitch get anywhere? She ran in the same place for like 7 or 8 shots. And she finally got somewhere. But, you know, just me. But no, Hellraiser 2 was good. It was good.
Yeah. I really liked it.
I own it.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the 2-pack, so I have 1 and 2 in the same case.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All the packs I ever see is 3 on. I don't ever see the 1 and 2 pack.
I haven't watched 3 and on. I don't know if I have the guts to dumb my brain down. I don't know, it's just me.
Well, then we've got in 1990 one of my favorites, which is Nightbreed.
Great movie.
And he was the director and the writer for that one.
I didn't think it was bloody enough.
It could have been more bloody. I mean, when he ripped his face off, that was pretty bloody.
I'd have to see it again. Laurie annoyed the shit out of me, but, you know, every movie has somebody that does. But, you know, Nightbreed's a great movie. The story's great. I actually have... A couple of years ago, they released a 12-issue comic of Nightbreed.
Oh, nice.
Of which I have all 12. Each issue was the backstory to one of the breed.
Oh, that's cool.
And it all led up to the events of the film.
That's really cool.
Oh, it was a great story. I got to remember. I got to read them again. But it's amazing how they showed the backstory to Shunasasi, the backstory to Narcissus, Peliquin, just all of it. It was awesome series. I got to read them again.
Then in 1992, we have Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, which he was just a producer for that one.
Mm.
And, you know, there's a lot of people that really like that one because they brought in different Cenobites and stuff. 3's not... I like 4 better than 3, but, you know, it's another Hellraiser.
I'll probably have to suck it up and just watch them all for the sake of saying I saw them.
Yeah, I've not watched the one with that Doug isn't in. I've not watched that one.
You mean the newest one, or
no? Well, I haven't watched that one either. But there's one right before that he isn't in either, and yeah, no, I've not watched it.
Yeah, it's funny. Isn't that the guy who actually looks like the Butterball Cenobite and Pinhead rolled up into one?
I don't know.
You can get the rights to have Pinhead. You know, I kind of am. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, that would have been
Freddy
cool.
versus Pinhead. I would have called that Hellraiser the 13th on Elm Street. Or something like that. But
all
anyhow.
right. So also in 1992, he did Candyman. And he was just the producer and writer for that.
Oh, Candyman's a great movie. The second one sucked. But the first one was just bloody good.
Yeah, I like Candyman. You know, I haven't seen it in a while. I need to rewatch that one.
You know, I actually just watched it. I think I bought it a couple of months ago, and I watched it. And watching it was kind of it was nice to watch because the things that I didn't understand the first time I saw it, I really caught on this time. And a lot, it's like it all made sense. It's a great movie. It really is.
Oh my goodness. There's 3 Hellraisers
Yeah,
without Doug.
sorry.
I didn't know there was 3. I haven't seen any of the ones without Doug. How's that?
Me either. Brian, you say it 2 more times, it's all on you.
Yeah, be careful with that.
It's not Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is 3 times. Beetlejuice. No, he's not here. But if Harold comes to life, I'm going to freak the fuck out.
Yeah, that might be a little scary.
Sorry, Harold. I'm not making fun of you, I promise.
All right, let's see here. Then, in 1995, we have Lord of Illusion.
Have it. Love it.
Which he was the director, producer, and writer on that one. All 3.
Oh, it was a fantastic movie. Famke Janssen's in it.
I've not
Scott
seen it in a really
Bakula.
long time. I need to watch that one again.
It's Scott Bakula, Famke Janssen, and Kevin J. O'Connor.
Very cool.
Great movie.
Yeah. I need to watch that one again.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. In fact, I got to watch it again, too. I got to go get my copy out so I can watch it.
All right, let's see here. Then in 96, it was Hellraiser Bloodline, which is the 4th one. And I really liked Bloodline. Not everybody does, but I really liked that one.
I didn't see it.
They do.
I saw one of the sequels, though.
Hmm?
I saw one of the sequels, at least.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. They do a little bit of backstory on Pinhead and stuff in that one. Why I think that's why I like it.
Fair enough.
Then in 98, he did Gods and Monsters.
That was with Ian McKellen and what the hell's his name? Brendan Fraser, right?
Brendan Fraser, yeah.
That wasn't a horror film. I heard it was fantastic, though.
Says Gods and Monsters, British-American period drama film that recounts the partly fictionalized last days of the life of film director James Whale.
What did he do on that? What did Clive Barker do on
He
that?
was the producer.
Wow.
And then in 2002, he was the producer and writer for Saint Sinner.
Comic book. I used to collect it.
Oh, yeah?
There were 4 of them. Actually, I have a nice story with a shitty ending. But when I lived in California, I started collecting comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very big on the Hellraiser comics. Actually, yeah, I started collecting the Hellraiser comics first. And they were doing, when I lived in California, or while I was there, they were doing a signing at one of the comic stores to promote or to introduce Clive Barker's 4 new comic books based on superheroes. You had Saint Sinner, you had Hokum and Hex, and there were 2 others. I can't remember the names of them. But I had them all. And the day that I went down to the signing, I took my Hellraiser #1 and got his autograph. Well, stupidly, I gave my comic collection to my brother. And I got all my Hellraisers back except 1 and 2.
Yeah. What happened to those?
I don't know where they are. They're probably damaged, gone. My brother probably sold it for money, and I'm furious about it. But It's okay.
Oh,
I'll
that
get a
sucks.
new one. Right now, I just want issue 1. I have all the others. I love the Hellraiser series. But Saint Sinner was a good comic. I mean, all 4 of them were. I just don't remember what the other 2 were, other than Saint Sinner and Hokum and Hex. But you're about to tell me what they are, so I'm listening.
Me?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't say.
Oh, the name was that a movie?
The movie. Yeah, Saint Sinner
Well,
was a 2002 horror television film written by Doris Egan and somebody else, based on a short story by executive producer Clive Barker. It was directed by Joshua Butler. Aside from the title, it is unrelated to the comic book series.
Oh, really?
That's what it says.
I'm still going to have to look it up.
Let's see here. It doesn't. Yeah, I'm not.
Yes, they are, Harvey.
I'm not seeing those other.
Well, they were comics. If they don't have it listed,
They don't have his comics listed. They have his short stories
No,
listed, but they don't have, and they have his novels listed, but they don't have his comics listed, which is kind of bizarre.
That's okay.
I'm sure they're probably somewhere. In 2006, he was the producer on The Plague.
The Plague?
The Plague is a 2006 horror film directed by Hal Masonberg and written by Masonberg and Teal Milton.
Okay.
I've not seen that one.
No, me either.
Then in 2008, he was the producer and writer of The Midnight Meat Train.
Love that movie.
I really love that movie.
I have that one too. That was, in fact, it's funny because that's the first time Bradley Cooper really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
And when I saw it, I'm like, and I looked at the name Bradley Cooper, it meant nothing to me. But when I saw who it was, then my mind went back to Alias. Because he was on that show, and from there, he just exploded.
Yeah, he really did.
So, yeah, that was a great movie. It held very true to the story.
Oh, good.
It really did. It's a short story in one of his Books of Blood books. I don't remember which one, but the movie is great. It really was.
Then in 2009, he did Book of Blood. 2009 British mystery drama horror film.
Yeah.
Based on the framing stories, The Book of Blood and On Jerusalem Street from Clive Barker.
Wait, what stories? What stories again?
The Book of Blood and On Jerusalem Street.
What? Okay.
I've not seen this one, but
I haven't either. I knew he was doing it, but I never got to see it. They actually did, and I don't think it's listed, but way back when Tales from the Dark Side was on,
mm-hmm.
They did an episode of Clive Barker's called The Yattering and Jack. It was really bad, but it was his, and it was on Tales from the Dark Side.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they didn't list that.
I don't know if he had anything to do with it. That's why.
Oh, okay.
He would have had to have given permission, but I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
All right. And then also in 2009, he did Dread, which he was just the producer.
Great movie.
Oh, yeah?
Great movie.
I've not seen it.
Very unnerving. Do you know what the story's about?
No.
Okay, so I'll take that as a no.
I said no.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Sorry. It's about a young man who in college decides to start doing projects to reach down and find out what scares people, what brings out their dread. But the problem is he gets so into it that he starts to get maniacal, and the deeper and deeper he gets, the worse it is, because he's starting to put his test subjects through hell. Great film. The ending is just nightmarish. It's such a great film. It really, really is.
Well,
it's worth watching.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna have to look for that one.
Oh yeah, Dread. You can find it was an After Dark Horror Fest film.
Okay.
But it's so good.
Then it says to be announced, Hellraiser. So I guess
that's
to
probably
be announced.
The newest one.
I mean, is it just not updated?
What year?
That's what is the to be announced part.
I wonder if they're remaking it.
Right?
It's probably going through production hell or something like that. So, who knows?
Yeah. So I mean, but on the write-up, it's exactly the first one, so it'll be a remake.
I'd bet on it. I'd bet.
And then also to be announced is Tortured Souls.
Ah, really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
he's actually directing, and he was the director and writer for that.
I can't wait for that one. I used to have the figures.
So
that's gonna be a fucked up show or movie. I can tell you
that's on its way sometime.
Yes.
And then also to be announced is Born, which I'm hovering my little cursor over it, and it's not doing anything. So that one's not highlighted. So it won't.
All right. Hey, James. All right. Well, that's something that I'm gonna have to look at and find out what's going on with that. But oh boy, Tortured Souls, bring it. Bring it. You hear that, Harold?
You're excited now.
I am excited.
All right, and that's all the movies.
Got a lot of books.
He's got a lot of books. Let's see here. The novels. Let's see here. The Damnation Game in 1985.
That was. I think I read that, and if I recall, has a really good story. Very messed up, but a good story.
Yeah, I've not.
I just can't remember. But I do believe I read the Damnation Game. I've read a few of the books of blood as well.
And then in 86, the Hellraiser series, the Hellbound Heart.
Yes.
And then in 2015 is the Scarlet Gospels. So I guess there's a second part. They're both under the Hellraiser series.
He did a really neat fantasy book some years ago called Aberrat.
Yes. I see it right now.
That was a really good book. It was more fantasy than it was horror, but I loved the story. I can't remember it, but the story was so great. Hey Adonis, how are you? It really was a great story, and all the artwork was his.
Oh, nice.
The covers, all the inside the internal photos, great stuff. But Clive Barker's just such a great writer. Um, there are a few stories that I'd pick out that were really just heads and tails above the rest. Midnight Meat Train was a great story. What was the other one? Pig Blood Blues is another great story.
Yeah.
And probably my favorite is In the Hills, the Cities. That's one to definitely check out.
Those are would those be under short story collections, maybe?
Yeah, it's under Books of Blood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says contains more than 70 expert excerpts. I can't say that word.
Excerpts.
Thank you. From
You're welcome.
from novels and plays and 4 full-length short stories.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
he's done so much. I mean, he's written so much. I couldn't even begin to tell you half of the shit that's out there that he's really written. You know, Nightbreed was called Cabal.
yeah.
The name of that was Cabal, which I read the book, and the book was fantastic. The hell else?
They've got a book called Weave World here.
Called what?
Weave World.
Yes. Did I read that? Did I see that? You know what? I believe there was a movie of Weave World.
Oh, really?
And I believe I saw it, and it was so cool. Very, very different. Is sort of like semi-animated, but it was so good. In fact, it was Weave World. There has to be something. I'll have to look it up, but I know that there's a movie of Weave World, and it was great. It was fun.
Very cool.
Very dark and twisted.
Well, I would expect that if it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jericho was a great game. Undying, I never really got to play because I had a shitty computer when the game came out. But I played Jericho, and Jericho was fucked up. That was a very fucked up game. It was dark. It was dark, and it was creepy. Just how I like it.
There's another one listed, Magica.
Yes, I did not read a Magica. That was supposed to be like a fantasy story also.
Then,
but I'm not sure.
There's The Thief of Always.
Yeah, that I believe was a kid's book.
Sacrament.
Don't recall that, but I recall it.
Galilee. Cold Heart Canyon. And then The Tortured Souls.
Well, I've at least heard of most of those.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's the Books of Blood.
Yeah.
And Mr. Begone. Wait, Mr. Maximilian Bacchus and His Traveling Circus. I've not
Me either.
Or heard of them.
Me either. But
I guess he's done a couple of plays.
I'd heard that, but I don't know what he's done.
It's Incarnations, 3 plays in 1995, and Forms of Heaven, 3 plays, all in 1996.
Missed them.
Yeah. Then, let's see here. Then it's listing a few video games. You know, they have 2 different Nightbreed video games.
Oh, really?
Undying, Jericho, and Demonkind, but Demonkind was canceled.
Oh, well, that's probably why we never heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have 2 different
well.
Nightbreed games, the action game and the interactive movie game.
I missed both of those, too.
Those both came out
If
in
anybody
1990.
else has played those Nightbreed games, speak now or forever hold your peace. Or you can take a couple of minutes and then forever hold your peace.
Well,
but
I think we're on a, like, I don't see the comments until, like, way later, like, from what we're talking about. So I think it's kind of on a delay.
Yeah. No, Jericho's a great game, Ruben. It really is. I never beat it because the last part was so friggin' hard. You know, you got to know which character to switch to and when, and it's just so tricky. It really is. But it was fun. It was a fun game.
And that's
hard game.
That's pretty much it. I mean, you know, he has a really long list of short stories, but I mean, there's not really a reason to name them all, is there?
No. But I would
it's
recommend
a really long list.
Well, I would recommend for anybody who's interested, definitely check out the Hellraiser comics if you can. They have, you know, volumes of it now that will give you the different stories. But there were some great stories in the comics. And what I loved most about it was they transcended beyond just Pinhead.
Yeah.
I mean, way beyond just Pinhead. You know, they really got into all these different Cenobites, and they brought a lot of them back. But it was nice to see that Hellraiser, based on the comic, really expanded the Lament configuration and Leviathan and what was really in the box or what came out of it. So there's that's just so much fun. I still go back and read them. I'm careful because I don't want to screw up the bindings.
Yeah.
But awesome comics. I mean, really, just awesome comics.
Now, did he do the artwork in them?
No, that was many different artists, many different writers, but it was still Clive Barker's Hellraiser.
Right.
It'll always be Clive Barker's Hellraiser. But anywho. But yeah, Clive Barker's the man.
I really like his work. I really do.
I do too. He really understands horror. He's very good how he approaches it. And it always seems to really strike a nerve with people. He's not afraid to tap into certain taboo subjects. So I love it. I really love it. I love his work. Well,
very cool. Very, very cool.
I think we covered everything.
I think we did. And then let's see here on the list from last week. So we did Clive Barker. On the list is Rob Zombie and Roger Corman. So I think we'll do Rob Zombie next, and then Roger Corman after.
Hey, Puddin', what do y'all think? Rob Zombie next week? I can't see anybody who's going to say no.
I mean, there are people that don't like Rob Zombie, and that's totally okay. He's not for everyone, but there's a lot of people that really love him. Yeah. I love him. I love his work. I
still have someone to go see him with me next week.
Oh yeah?
The 7th, I have an extra ticket.
If I was closer, I'd absolutely want to go.
I know. I know. What do you mean, no one-parter? What one part? Was last week a one-parter?
What?
Brian is like, no one-parter this time.
We did all.
Oh, well.
We did all this stuff.
Yeah. Clive Barker's got a lot out there. It's a matter of what he was involved with. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. And they didn't list his comics or anything. So.
Matthew, the show is at Jones Beach in New York. Okay, so anyway, ow.
All right.
So, Harold just wants to say real quickly. He just told me to tell everyone that he enjoyed being on screen for all of 30 seconds.
Hey, Harold.
And maybe next time we'll have him on longer. It's okay, Harold. Some people are very camera shy. It's okay.
Usually,
so anyway,
we have a two-parter when it goes long, but we did everything. So yeah. Just
well, anyway, what's good is if everybody tunes in Friday, we have blowing off steam in full steam horror.
Yeah.
And if you're not a member of Full Steam Horror, you may want to come check us out. Because Erica and I, we never do this alone. Actually, that's a lie because she did last week. But that wasn't because I didn't want to do it. It's because I took a break from Facebook. Now I'm back. And now we're going to continue.
Absolutely.
We know what we're doing. We're secret vets. We're professionals. Don't try this at home.
Trying to be.
Oh, wait. Never mind.
I am at home.
Never mind. So, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us over sharing some remake talk and Clive Barker.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Erica and I are gonna work really hard to come up with something for Friday's show. But next week, same here, Joseph. Yes, Jason, Full Steam Horror Facebook page. And Steven, I can't wait for the new Rob Zombie film either.
Yeah.
I really can't.
So excited. I'm so excited.
Yes. So am I. All right.
Alrighty.
Erica, closing arguments?
No. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Harold, thanks you too.
See ya.